Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I'm in here want to tell you about the types, characteristic, and element of prose. But before that, I want to introduce our group. Okay, my name is Jaquinna Vasthy Hakim, and my friend's name is Cornellius Yusuf Rombot. We are choose the prose is novel and the title is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. The first is types. This type of literary is fiction novel. The second is characteristic. The point A is message. This novel tells about Bella and Edward who are different couples. Bella is human, but Edward is a vampire. If you love someone, just be brave to say even though you are two from different. But when you love each other, just go for it. The point B is format. There are no subheadings, either graphic, in the novel. The point C is language. The writing style is good, easy to understand, and use everyday language with sentences and conversation types. We can find at page 9. The sentences is I found a good car for you, really cheap. He announced when we were strapped in. This slide is tell Intrinsic about the Twilight novel. There have 7 Intrinsic. The first is theme. The theme is fiction, fantasy, and romance novel. The second is plot. The plot is linear. Why we are choose the linear for the plot? Because the action or event are arranged chronology following the natural order or event. Okay, for the plot, there have 5 points. The first is exposition. We can find the exposition. It's from page 4. The sentences is my mother drove me to the airport with the windows rolled down. It was 75 degrees in Phoenix. The sky a perfect. Clouds blue. I was wearing my favorite shirt. Sleeveless white eyelet lace. I was wearing it as a farewell gesture. My carry-on item was a parka. The second point is rising action. We can find at page 19. The sentences is they were pale, the palace of all the Disclips who live in this sunless city, paler than me, the albino. Their eyes were so dark, so contrasting with their hair color. They also have eye bags, purplish, prised like a shadow, as if they passed sleeps nights or just barely recovering from broken nose. The third point is climax. We can find at page 449. The sentences is, do you want to rethink your last wish? He asked kindly. His big toe pressed against my broken leg and me heard a screeching pain. I was surprised to realize it was me who screamed. The fourth point is failing action. We can find from the page is 455. The sentences is done slowly as my hands went numb. I calmed down. The burning thing on my hand began to decrease until it was no longer felt. And the last point from the plot is resolution. We can find from page 498. The sentences is I touched his face. Listen. I said, I love you more than everything in this world when combined. Isn't that enough? Yes, that's enough. He replied smiling, enough for good. The third point from the intrinsic is setting. The setting have 2 points. The first is place and the second is time. For the place, in a small town on Forks, which has the highest rainfall in America and Forks High School. The second is time. The time is summer, winter, and rainy season. The fourth is characterization. There have 2 characterizations in this novel. The first is protagonist and antagonist. For protagonists, there have Bella Swan, Edward Collins, Collins' family, and Jacob Black. For the antagonist is James, Victoria, and Lauren. The fifth is point of view. The point of view is first person. Why we are choose first person for the point of view because the first person told by one character with pronouns I and we and shares the limitation of third person limited. We can find from page 3, the sentences is I never really thought about how I would die, although I have enough reason these past few months. But even if I had a reason, I never imagined it would like this.
Style, vocabulary, and use simple words. I know if I never go to force, I won't be face to face with that now. But as I fear, I didn't regret it, that decision. When life offers distant dreams exceed your expectation, it doesn't make sense to regret it. If the dream ended, the hunter smiled mildly as he stepped to kill me. Page 3. Mood or feeling. Very touched. I touched his face. Listen, I said, I love you more than everything in this world when combined. Isn't that enough? Yes, that's enough. He replied, smiling, enough for good. Pack 498. Scared. Do you want to rethink your last wish? He asked kindly. His big toe pressed against my broken leg and me heard a screeching pain. I was surprised to realize it was me who screamed. Wouldn't you rather have Edward try to find me? He said no. I crowed. 449. Intrinsic. Author biography. Stephanie Meyer is the best-selling author of the Twilight book series. Inspired by a dream, she wrote the first book and attracted the attention of agent Judy Rimmer, who secured her a 3-book publishing deal. The books have sold more than 250 million copies, been translated into 37 languages and adapted for a 5-part hit film series. Meyer has also published the novels The Host 2008 and The Semis 2016 and launched her own film production company. Value element in the story. The moral outlook of our society. Most teenagers are not very religious and don't like going to church, synagogues, etc. In today's society, it's mostly adult and teen about life after death or what happened when they die. Twilight provides an overview of how a vampire trying to be kind judges this. The book discusses Edward's struggle to break his religious belief that some teenagers have at some point in their life. In the future, the value of converting to religious belief or distrust for some, as today's teens grow up and learning more about themselves, could teach students how some teens struggle with their belief. Religion has existed for centuries and has always been controversial in all parts of the world. Our society values religion whether everyone has belief or not. Social situation when the pros are made. In 2005, the first Twilight novel is highly anticipated by many young adults and teenagers because it tells about love and gains people's attention because love between human and vampire is unique at that time.